Um, in Ukraine, from school programs, they've eliminated Russian language, Russian literature, and also texts from Belarusian authors as well. Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine has said just that. Instead of that, they added some foreign writers and so on and so forth. Um, Obviously, understandable. At the same time, I don't really get it. At the same time, it's Ukraine. They can do whatever they feel like suits them best, I guess. Um, I frankly didn't like a lot of the Russian things that just in general, a lot of literature that we were reading during school, especially because I feel like those are the things that you should read like later in life because you don't really understand a lot of them when you're reading them at the age of like 15, 16, shit like that. So, not sure. Um, yeah, apparently they also added the Russian-Ukrainian conflict of 2014, annexation of Crimea, and then some. In this is their history course, and they also added certain things about 2022 and this war, the current ongoing war. Again, good for them. I'm all for that. But I don't think you really need to remove all of it, and especially like remove like just Russian language in general. Like, I mean, with this thing, I mean, again, like the country is at war with Russia. I understand that. Okay. However, like, I mean, Ukraine is not a small country. 40 million is like a lot. So yeah, I guess whatever. It's because I've grown up in Belarus and basically we've all. I mean, we have Belarusian language obviously in school, but nobody really speaks Belarusian language unless it's like really um like true patriot of Belarus and not post-Soviet Belarus. Um, but everybody speaks Russian, and yeah, Belarus is. It feels like Belarus is, if not a part of Russia, like it doesn't feel like a true its own country. You know what I mean? Because the language was almost eradicated, left just for very like minorities of I don't know, like yeah, maybe like some people maybe like in villages could speak some like mixed language, Russian plus Belarusian, Trosyanka as it's called, and yeah, like true believers in like true Belarus or like Belarus that were more aligned with like Lithuania, Ukraine, something like that, rather than with Russia. So there's that. So yeah, I don't know how I really feel about it. I've never lived in the country, and in Ukraine, like when I visited Ukraine, when you just visited Ukraine before events of like 20, even 14, 15, um, everybody spoke Russian. Everybody understood Russian. That's been not a problem at all, and Putin actually ruined all of that. Because speaking Russian is obviously beneficial, the same way as speaking English is beneficial. If you are creating content and it's in English, you have an ability to reach wider audience than if you're just making content in your local language, let's say like Belarusian language or even Ukrainian language. Once again, that's why it's different because there are only like 9 million of Belarusian people and there's 40 of them in Ukraine, so it's kind of different. Um, but like if you are a writer or if you're a musician, like it's one thing to create for 40 million people. It's another thing to create for like 250 million people, which is approximately the amount of people who can understand Russian language or who are native carriers of the language. I just feel like to me the language um, doesn't really feel like personal. It's more about the primary function of the language, which is communication, delivery of information. Um, I don't feel like if I live in Belarus and I use Russian language, it is somehow I betrayed Belarus. I equally hate and despise Belarus and Russia, and yet, like, I find Russian language more interesting than Belarusian language, and it's, there's more things to read, so on and so forth. Same with English. Like, I'm doing this right now in English because I understand that there are 1.5 billion people who can understand English. So even compared to Russian, that's a step up, and not a step down. So I don't get it really. I feel like, just whatever. Ukraine can do whatever the fuck they want with their educational system. I hope at least they're studying English language, because that's a pretty big necessity in the current modern world. And I really hope they teaching they're teaching it better than they've taught us here.